To give me the best chance of making this thing look acceptable, I want to take the guitar completely apart. It'll probably look nicer if I overlap the pickguard and ashtray, and it's going to be easier to physically handle just the body. I also ran into some potential issues. The original guitar has a piece of pickguard that covers a little area between the controls and the ashtray, but mine doesn't. The decal doesn't account for this, and I think it would look silly if I left it blank. The original appears to have green under there, but I'm going to have to use whatever I can salvage. In the previous video I said I wanted to stick a button in the empty area on the control plate. I still want to do that, but as usual, nothing's ever easy. I didn't realize the volume knob was actually an S1 switch, and I didn't know that the routing of this cavity varied in depth. I need to relocate this grounding tab, cut and bend the leads on the button to give it a chance to fit. Alright, the next step, I took this metal plate, and you can see this is where the pickup selector was, this is where the knobs were, and there's room here for our button, and what I need to do is ultimately drill a hole there. The way that I'm going to do that is, I think I've covered this with tape so that I don't walk out into the garage and throw it across the floor and get it all scuffed up, and I guess it might protect against some metal shavings coming off. I'm going to use these to secure it to a block of wood, just so I don't have to put... I don't want this moving on me at all when I'm trying to drill it, and maybe I'll put that block of wood in a vise, but I don't want to tighten these down too hard because I'm scared that maybe it'll pucker or bow or something. I'm going to use something to knock a little dimple in this just so my drill bit doesn't walk, and then I've got a pair of calipers that I measured this with, and hopefully we can get these holes lined up. Alright, let's do it. I made the executive decision not to do time-lapse of the vinyl cutting because it was probably 10 hours worth of sitting on conference calls that I was working on it. It didn't really lend itself to being recorded, but it was a lot of pen knifing and scissoring. There's two common types of these switches that people use on guitars. One of them is normally closed, one of them is normally open, and picture like a little springy thing here, and this is the actuator to break or complete the circuit. Let's talk about why we're going to use one over the other. So let's get some gizmos out here. We've got the multimeter, and it's set to the worst possible setting where when you complete a circuit it makes a terrible noise. We're going to attach one end to this normally closed button, and when I attach this it's going to complete the circuit. Right? Terrible. Push the button, breaks it. Let it go. With the normally open button, when we press, it makes the circuit. So let's talk about the reason why we want to use one over the other. The first thought everybody has is they want to take this normally closed button and they want to put it on the load. And every time you push the button, you interrupt it. But you don't want to interrupt the load, you want to expel it to ground. I don't know if expel is the right word, maybe yeet. We're going to use this button to send the signal straight to ground. So instead of interrupting it, we're just going to kind of dump it. The benefits of doing this, since you're not leaving signal on this line, is you're not going to get any crackle or pop, kind of like pulling the guitar cable out of your guitar. I probably solder once a year, so this is all you get, and the rest was pretty rough. One last thing, there's a company gouging people on guitar kill switches. I bought a multicolored 5-pack for less than what they're charging for one. I really wanted to use the blue or green switch for this, but my sister says the red goes best with the surrounding decal. I really wish I could show this to you, but I guess there's got to be a part 3.
Yes, drown me in the sweet water of your envy.